Like, real G's move in silence like lasagna. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I was looking.
Like, fucking go.
Hello, welcome back to the Evolve podcast. And you listen to me, Lewis, and Sam. How's it going, Samuel?
Hello. It's going all right. Yeah, I had a fun fact I wanted to share with you.
Go on.
So I'll put a bit of background information on it. So,
Hi guys, this is Lewis in Post. This fun fact was so random and it had nothing to do with the topic, but it was funny. So if you guys want to find out, make sure this episode blows up and I'll release the uncut version. But I'll leave in my reaction because it is quite funny. And yeah, enjoy guys. Peace. How the fuck? Wait, what the fuck did that have to do with anything about this podcast?
nothing. It's just a fun fact.
Also, you knew this in the last week's session.
Honestly.
Why have you said this 2 weeks? I don't even know we're going to keep that in, Sam.
It popped in my head. It popped in my head. I was like, oh my God, I've not shared this with Lewis. Like, it's all, everyone from barbecue is the only thing every time we catch up, we're like, oh my God, we feel like we know something the rest of the world doesn't. And I forgot all about it. I forgot that in fact, when I called you, the first call I had with you after barbecue, that's one of the main things I wanted to tell you. Like, guess what I've learned? But yeah.
Okay.
So today's about revenge. Next.
You've thrown me off entirely. I was like,
glad.
What have I been waiting here for 45 minutes for? And that's the first thing that you say to me.
That's the fun fact.
By the way, guys, before we start this podcast, we just press record. Like, we don't even talk. This is the first thing Sam said to me in about a week.
It actually is. Oh my
so
God!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, dear listeners.
I don't have
Sam. We're gonna hard 180 and then 180.
180. So we're just gonna spin until we come correct.
Right.
All right, let's start again. I'm coming correct.
Cool. Right.
So how have I been? You were saying.
How you been, Sam?
It's. You know what? I'm gonna say it how it is and not get all emotional about it throughout the whole episode. I'm not gonna do what you do and basically let it dwell for the whole bloody episode of how much I hate my life. I'm still in that trough period and I'm still getting very stressed at work. I'm still doing crazy hours. And what I'm at the stage now where everyone's telling me, why don't you take a break? I'm like, why don't you shut the fuck up? Why don't you shut the fuck up take a holiday, take a break. How
about a win? Let's go straight to the win, Sam. What's the win for the week?
So, win for the week, I can see my abs. We there now, yeah.
Nice.
Daddy's home.
Yeah.
Daddy's home. Let's go.
Yes, bro.
No. Thai boxing is doing well. I need to do more cardio, but Thai boxing is doing its magic. I took a week off. I took a week off. I took the Wednesday, Friday. I've been off for a bit, to be fair. I went back on Monday.
Nice.
And I could definitely tell the difference. My coach spotted straight away that my ankles were swollen, and apparently that's a sign that I've been enjoying the carbs a bit too much.
You got cankles.
Bro, I did, and they hurt as well. Like, it hurt to do anything. He was just like, I can tell you've been enjoying your takeaways because of this whole work stress thing.
I tell you now, if someone wanted to insult my ankles,
would it hurt you? Is that your? Do you literally have an Achilles heel? Like, do you literally have one?
No, but like the thing is, because my ankle, someone to target your ankles when you have all 100 kg on you,
bro. I know.
They target your ankles
specifically. 109.
There's so many other options, and you went for my ankles. Like it's too personal.
I know. It was.
If someone said, "Lewis, you're gaining a bit of weight." Where? And they say your ankle. I'll be like, what?
You know, when you say it like that, it really did sound like a psychological attack.
That means the rest we don't even need to mention because you're aware of it.
Exactly. That was the pause when he said it. I was just like,
it was like your gut speak for itself. But the ankle is bad.
It's like the rest is obvious, Sam. But the ankles is too far. That's the line. That's where we draw the line. The ankles. No. But we're doing good. I had my cold shower after a stressful day of work.
Nice.
Looked in the mirror and I was just like, you know what? Anything is possible, Sam. Anything is possible. Who says your metabolism slows down near 30? We're speeding that up again. Healthy life. I've been doing a lot better with my diet as well.
Nice.
Admittedly, he was right. I wasn't enjoying the takeaways last week. And I was basically having McDonald's because I couldn't be asked to cook, which was terrible for me. But since then, my diet has improved quite a lot, in my opinion. I've been cooking a lot more rather than ordering takeaways. And if we do order takeaways, that's like, not just any restaurant, but like the proper like mum and pop kind of restaurants where they cook their food. No MSG, none of that,
Hey,
E numbers and stuff in their foods. And there's like some really nice restaurants that I go to that I like. Sorry. And we only order from them. So I trust the food they make for me would be the
yeah,
same as
dude.
what I'd probably try and cook if I knew how to cook at the level they do. So yeah, I've been limiting myself, taking away fast foods out of my diet. And I think it's definitely why I'm being able to tolerate a lot of the stress I'm going through right now.
Mm,
I think the diet and the exercise, being able to go Thai boxing after a hard day of work is definitely playing a part in me
mm,
balancing the stress, because what I felt is I've basically been given a bit of help in the company in terms of getting more resources to get this project across the line. And anytime I've handed like 10% of my work to someone, they've basically just cried. Like they fully just be like, no, I can't do this. And I'm just like, oh, like, it'll be okay. Like it's a shit show, but we'll get it done. And they're just like, no. So it kind of, and I'm being sat down and reminded, like, how are you doing all of this? And then I think back to, I've got a healthy lifestyle now. And that's probably how mentally I'm coping with any of this. Because the old Sam would have broken and gone for a walk around Nottingham naked and all crazy. Just in the streets with like a police officer with a net just chasing me, like, get
it's
here.
like, you're homeless. Nah, I'm just
No,
going
I'm
through
just
it.
I'm just going through it right now, bro. So yeah, just give me a blanket and keep it stepping.
Yeah,
But yeah, apart from that, anxious extrovert, I had a really good chat with Ollie. We're back on track again. He's got the website into an okay state, so it means I'm the blocker. I need to now get the marketing plan on the road. I think I've been a blocker for a few things, to be honest. There's a few responsibilities, like our socials, like our website, like a few things I've just not updated. And admittedly, it's because my mind's been anywhere but my personal life, or my business. I've literally not been able to mind my own business. So I'm taking charge of that starting tonight, and I'm getting back into a good mindset around these work pieces. But
nice
yeah,
man.
the world
Good
won't
shit.
change. The world won't change screwing me over, so I need to push back and sort it out myself.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
about you, dude?
Hey, dude.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Diet, food. Definitely, the food is a whole thing. Like, because I've been saying, like, I've been consistently working out, but my food was always like inconsistent. I've been consistent for like 2 weeks, and I dropped another kg in the past week. Like, I can see it in my face, which is great. And I have a big win. I
Go on.
told you.
Go on.
Guess what I did last night?
I don't.
I went to Thai boxing.
Oh, that is a big win.
It's a big win, bro.
That is a big win.
It's my first session.
That is a huge win.
Back after 3 years out
Did they
of
beat you up?
practice. I'm gonna get to that.
Yeah, they fucked you up.
Yeah. So I texted my old coach.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, long time no speak. Like, I'm thinking of making a comeback on Wednesday. Should I go to the intro class or go like straight back into like the experience class?" He was like, "Yeah, just hop straight back in. Like, good to hear from you." And I was like, "Okay." So I was dreading it all day because it was after work as well. I had lunch at 12, didn't eat anything till the session at 7:30. Went in, and I remember being able to do like the warm up. I was like, "Cool, I'll do the warm up." They changed the warm up. Like, it is 3 times longer than it was when I was there last time. So it was like jump rope for like 3 minutes, then 10 burpees, 10 push-ups, 10 sit-ups, 10 squats, then sprints, and then shadow boxing.
It's like a big training. Is it big training room?
Yeah, it's just like a big like hall.
That's not too
but
bad,
with like the mats and stuff. No, Sam. It was that 3 times.
That's not too bad.
And that it lasted. I feel like I'm forgetting a step, but this lasted 30 minutes.
Oh, that's a mad warm up.
Sam, I was seeing stars at the end of the warm up, and then like he's talking about, okay, guys, now we're gonna have a bit of water, put on your pads, pair up. Now we're gonna go through go through drills like with a partner. He's explaining what we're doing, and I'm there like. Like I'm dying, and I'm looking at the clock, Sam. I'm like, I've got an hour left. I was like, I'm not quitting for shit. Yeah, I know that was my mistake, but I was like, I'm not quitting. I'm not sitting down for shit. I was like, if I'm gonna be a heavy bag, so be it. But I'm not leaving this room because I've been here. I've been put back in after 3 years. None of these people know me. I was like, I'm not going to be that guy who came in for one session and then like had to tap out after half an hour. I was like, there's no way. Sam, I swear to Christ, I've done 2 marathons. I've never seen this many stars, bro. Like I was not okay. So basically, the last 45 minutes is basically 2 minutes rounds of sparring. Like obviously we did some drills first, and then we did like practicing technique, things like that. Then it was 2 minutes rounds of sparring, 20 seconds breaks, and then we did like 3 rounds with one person. Then we changed, and we did that like 4 times, and that was like the last half an hour. And I was like, I'm not gonna lie, it's my first session back after 3 years. I was like, do your shit, pretend it's normal. I will be a heavy bag, because like, dude, I could not lift up my legs for shit at this point. Like, they were like throw kicks. I was like, dude, my left hand just kept being here because this trap. I was like, I cannot lift up this arm any higher than it is. So to summarize, Sam, this part of my head, my forehead,
it's hurting.
It's sore, bro.
They hit you too many times on the head, didn't they?
I got hit.
That's a big target, to be fair.
Times. Yeah, I got hit many times in the face. And the thing is, I could not raise my hands higher than my eye line. So yeah, I just got bopped in the forehead. Yeah. I got kicked in the arms. I got kicked in the ribs. I got punched in the stomach. And yeah, it was great. And people were like, "Oh, Lewis, how's your first session back?" And I was like, "Bro, I felt like Krillin." I felt like Krillin today, and they were like, "Yeah, I got my shit folded." God. Like, I went to go throw a jab. I thought he was in front of me. The guy's in my peripherals. I didn't see him.
They're just fucking you up for fun,
bro. Why is everyone Batman? Like, I was like, I feel like a criminal in Gotham, and Batman just run his shit and folded me nice and neatly, and put me in a drawer and told me to shut up.
No, I know the feeling, bro.
But yeah, dude, it was great. Yeah. I'm gonna go again. Like, so people are like, "Lewis, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, you just keep on finding these things to just hurt yourself." And I was like, I don't know. Maybe I just want a roundhouse kick to end it all. I don't know. But we go again. So no, they do like a circuit class on Saturday. So I'm gonna go to that. Yeah. I'm gonna try and go to 2 classes a week for now, because I genuinely don't know how I can squeeze in any more than 3 without neglecting, the podcast and my personal life. Easy. That, to be fair, easy steps. But now, dude, I was umming and ahhing about. I've been saying, I'm gonna make a comeback to Thai boxing. I said this shit last year, January, and I still hadn't gone. And I was like, I can't do this any longer. But bro, I've sweated through a hoodie yesterday. I've never had that much liquid leave my body. Pause. But I soaked through a hoodie after the session. I was like, this doesn't, like, it didn't feel. It felt weird. I was like, am I dying? Yeah, man. Different. It's a different level of stamina needed. Like I said, marathon, I don't get that tired, like seeing stars. I did half marathons. My strain was lower than what it was yesterday after an hour.
Oh, did you wear the Whoop band throughout the whole thing?
Yeah, so basically you can take out the tracker and put it into, it's like Whoop body. So you can wear boxes and put in the tracker there. So you can still like measure everything. So it's not on my wrist. So yeah, I saw it, and yeah, it was perplexed. It was perplexed. It was like, how? Like, what are you doing? I was like, you
Master,
okay?
Why? Master, why?
But yeah, I'm not dying as much today as I thought I would have done. But because there's no visible evidence. Like, it's just my skull that's in pain. But
you'll get used to it.
It was good. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going. But yeah, man, I thought, you know what, my stamina's been pretty good this year. Like, I'm sure it'll be better than it was last time when I came back after not doing it for a few years. I was wrong. I was very, very wrong.
Isn't it?
I was very, very wrong. Because the thing is, I was like, I'm more in shape now than I was in 2020. But I was like, I'm sure it'll be fine. Because, like,
it's a different type of fitness.
It's a different type of fitness that really is a different type of fitness, need to rebuild. And it's an experience like that's imprinted on my brain. Like, I'm gonna remember seeing that level of stars. I hadn't seen that level of stars since like interclub training at uni. Like, it was like that. But yeah, man,
that's my win for the week. I'm glad I went.
Flashbacks.
I think Rosie's probably going to worry about me, but you know what? It's fine. We move.
They get used to
fine.
it. That's a point where she'll probably think you're in a cult like Sarah does. And it's all right
Yeah.
because you are. welcome to the club.
Yeah, you know what I do like though, because
Yeah.
I know we always talk about fitness, but it is important. But like one thing because I tried to get into boxing, like actual
Right.
boxing classes, and every boxing gym that I've been to, apart from one, they've all been arseholes. Boxing's been very egotistical, and it's
Yeah.
very much like, oh, can I focus on this technique or whatever? Like, bear in mind, where I go to Thai boxing, there's a boxing arch as well where they do boxing,
Mhm.
and it's like focusing on like technique. They don't focus on technique. Like, if you don't block they just beat the shit out of you, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do to prevent this happening? And they just beat the shit out of you. And this happened like last time I went, and I was like, you know what, fuck this. Like, I'm actually here trying to learn, and just putting egotistical assholes who want to be Anthony Joshua, and they're just throwing their shit. And it's like, I'm not actually learning shit here. I'm just learning how to be a dick, and it's just not on. Whereas Thai boxing, it's very much about leaving. They have this mantra on the door, and it says like, leave your ego at the door.
Yeah.
And you have to tap it every time you go through. Bow.
You're about to
come
get your
in.
ass whooped.
Yeah.
That's why you're about to
Yeah.
get your ass
Whereas
whooped.
boxing's like, make sure you brought your ego with you, and make sure you try and win sparring, which is
That's
dumb
not how
as
you should
shit.
be doing it at all.
And it's not how you should be doing
I
it.
mean, it could just be a really shit boxing club. You've got there, to be fair.
Sam, genuinely, I've been to I tried 4 different boxing gyms. One was actually decent, but the rest were just like, everyone was trying to be like anti-Joshua and try and beat everybody up in sparring, and not actually cultivate an environment of learning, which is why I like Thai boxing a lot, because it's very much like
something.
It's actually about remaining humble and like peaceful in fighting, because when you are peaceful in a fight, that's where you actually like, or calmer in a fight, that's where you actually win. Or boxing's like, get angry and like, you know, the coach is going to come up and beat the shit out of you. Like, you shouldn't have a fear of your coach. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just not how it should be.
It's stupid.
So
it's stupid.
I feel like
I don't know. It's a
higher
limited
risk of a
sport.
lot of arseholes in boxing.
I don't think it. Yeah. Well, I was gonna say I don't think it's helped that so many MMA people have been beat up by the likes of Jake Paul. But then again, if you send someone that's really good at playing darts to play chess, they're gonna lose, right? So,
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it is what it is.
I think it's just like an environment thing, but
it is.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't
Tell
really
me-
match my personality in terms of going into those classes. But yeah, that was just a little tangent. But go on.
Tell me about the film you're making, how that's going.
There's still waiting for feedback on that. I'm still waiting for them to go through like all the notes, which is good because it gives me a bit of breathing room. And yeah, I've been enjoying the temporary break. I'll probably. I'm anticipating I'll probably hear back from them probably in next week. It's funny because like they always have like these grand ideas of, oh yeah, we're gonna get this all wrapped up and done like within like 2 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever it is, and I always double it in my head because this shit takes time. Like if Hollywood's gonna have delays, like a short film is going to. Like let's be honest, right? Obviously, I don't say that. I keep that shit to myself or just say it on a podcast, but. That's my opinion.
True though, yeah.
So when they say like, "Oh yeah, we'll have this back to you like in a week with notes," I didn't believe it for a second, to be honest. But I was just prepared for it, but I didn't believe that was going to happen because people have shit to do.
Yeah,
people have lives. So yeah, I haven't actually looked at it in a while, like the stuff I did because I thought it was just gonna make me anxious. But yeah, I'm just waiting for that, and like I've done my part. I've done it for free. I've done the best I could.
Will you get credits?
Better because I'm putting.
I was gonna say, you better get like credits.
I'll sneak in my name in there somewhere. You know what I'm like? But yeah, that's actually quite nice. It goes into revenge if they were to like.
I was gonna say,
cut me out of it.
Into revenge. It's like produced, edited, and directed by Lewis Facey.
No, I couldn't do that. But
you would. You're that. You used to be that type of guy. I know you from uni. You used to be a spiteful guy. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no,
Lewis could hold a grudge.
No, you know what? It is true. And I used to, if someone actually did me like wrong, I would get revenge without them knowing that I've even done it. Like, real G's move in silence like lasagna, you know what I mean? Like, that's how I was.
Let's fucking go. My God,
You know what I mean?
Lock Carter.
But-
Let's go.
But genuinely, that's what I used to do. Like, I got revenge on people who did me wrong without them even knowing I got revenge. And they just assume that I've just, attained peace. No, I didn't. That illness that you got, on the week up to your interclub, that was me. I'm joking. No, but no, I used to be a very much more vengeful than I am now. Rosie's probably laughing because she goes, "That's a fucking lie." But
Probably not changed much at all.
I would, you know what, Sam? I've been thinking a lot about this topic ever since you said, and there's a variant of Lewis who, does not seek revenge, and success is the best revenge, and you got to learn to rise above it and let go. And there are times where I have done that. It is not all the time. Like,
I'm not gonna lie.
I am usually that person when I know I can't get revenge. But if I can, and if the opportunity is fit,
I often feel bad. I see exactly what you mean, and I often feel bad after I have exercised my revenge and I've gone through my period of bliss, where I've essentially exercised the inner chimp to just get my comeuppance.
But bear in mind, it's like it's never going to be anything that's like really, really bad. But it's like I will do. I'm just trying to cover ourselves.
I was going to say you've been diabolical
ones, but it's like. What is funny about me is like I'll get revenge on something that they've completely forgotten about, and the thing is, when something will happen to me, I won't get like, I'm gonna get revenge now. I'll settle it for like
you
8
hold
months.
a grudge. You
It'll
hold
be
a
8
horrible
months,
grudge,
and then the thing is, I might even forget about it as well, and then it might be a situation where there's the opportunity for me to help this person who did something to me, and I go, remember when you did this in August 2015? And then I don't know, man. It's a weird one.
No, I go through phases with it where like I go through, I go through phases. Revenge is just I'm just one with it. I don't know why. I'm just one with just unlocking my evil villain art sometimes, and all it takes is for the right one just to irk me, just to catch me on a bad day and just do something that I think if I feel humiliated, let me know. I'm just letting you know it's coming. I've got it planned. If I ever feel publicly humiliated by someone, I never let it go. I will say I've let it go. I'm telling all the people right now that are watching, thinking, you should be worried. I will get it eventually. Because the worst part is, I always feel bad after I feel like, okay, I feel vindicated and I feel sorry for the person. But you know what I never do? I never learn from the fact that I feel sorry. So then when it happens again and someone really upsets me, it will burn me in my brain. It will sit there just eating away at me until I do something about it. And eventually I do. And then I feel bad again. It's just a vicious cycle.
This concerns me because you feel bad.
You don't.
I'm like, I see myself as Captain America running up on Thanos. I'm getting justice, bro. Like, this is what I deserve. Like, when I'm in that mood, And the thing is, like, it was actually a really funny conversation that I had with Rosie the other day, and she said something along the lines of like, "Oh, what would you do if I?" I can't remember exactly what she said, but it would have been along the lines of like, "Oh, what would you do if I, cheated on you or whatever, or did this or whatever?" It was something like that. And I just said something off the dome to her for about a minute. She was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, that's the first thing you thought. How did you come up with that already? Did you think about this already?" And I was like, "Oh, maybe that is actually like." I just came up with like I came up with like a really elaborate scheme that would have 100%.
Would you tell us on this pod, or is it too crazy?
It's actually a bit mad, but
that's mad. That's actually crazy.
Yeah, and she was like, "How did you come up with that off the dome immediately?" And I was like, "Yeah, like that's like a part of me which is useful. I think there's useful, and it's a useful energy to have. I don't think you can fully channel it because." I think there's different categories of revenge. Revenge seems like you're out to like get blood, right?
Mm.
But I think a better way to phrase it for the purposes of this podcast and, you know, future lawyers is justice, right? Or
That's words. That is so much
justice,
words.
or
That
like,
is crazy.
or
You're actually psychotic. I'm not gonna lie.
I can be a little bit, but like one thing which I definitely, I think there's a minute form of revenge which I definitely do capitalize a lot on, and
Yeah.
it's pettiness.
Yeah, I'm petty.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
petty. And you know what? You only realize it's pettiness when you exercise your revenge and realize, okay, this got out of hand. This got crazy real quick.
like
people are crying.
Like Rosie sent me this Instagram post the other day, and it was a cake. And you know what? I actually want to find it because it did make me laugh. Hold on. And she said it was it's very much something that I would do if I had. The thing is, right, pettiness requires a lot of energy, and there's a certain level of pettiness where it's like you went through all this just for this slight little moment of justice, and I go, it's worth it every single time.
See,
my friend, I don't know if you've seen New Girl, but they remind me of they say I'm Winston in terms of this level of pranks. And this poster said, I won an argument and decided to be extra petty. And it's a cake. And it said, did it hurt when I told you to Google it? And I was right. Like, that's me. But the thing is, I would get like a little cake. I would get like a Costco cake made, or I would get a wedding cake made, which would cost me like £500, and each layer of it has like a reason why I was writing it. Like that's just off the dome, and that's something which I would do if I was in the right mood. Do you see what I mean?
Like, see, the revenge that would make me feel better is the kind that it elicits some kind of like, if the person doesn't look at me with that like teary look in the eyes and go, why?
Yeah.
Why you do this to me? The revenge hasn't been good enough.
Hold on.
The revenge. Oh, go on, show your belly. Go on, strip.
Not yet. Not yet.
But like, basically, yeah. For me, the revenge just has to have a moment where they just go, but why? That moment of like, but why would you do this? And that moment is when I'm just like, this is why. This sweet moment where I feel like I broke you and you understood the pain you caused to me, because it might be little to them, but it would have caused me like significant stress.
We have
trauma.
Scar
like,
energy.
I'm sensitive. Exactly. I'm just sensitive. So like, if to them it was just a bit of banter, to me it hurt my feelings. So I know if I did the exact same thing to them, they'll be like, haha, banter. So now I have to do something that might be more extreme, but it'll get you to the same emotional state I was when you slapped me on my arm. That's basically it. So like, I'll crash a car, so you'd be upset. You'd be as upset as I am when you slap me on my arm, or when you hit me in the back of the head that one time in front of everyone.
I think the key word here is escalation.
Yeah,
like, it's like, quick. I shot you with a water pistol. It's like, cool, I broke a pipe and flooded your house. Like, that's me.
Or like that, exactly. And then like in my head, they'll be like, why would you do that? You're pissed off. I'd be like, you see that
it's
feeling
just a prank,
you have,
bro.
It's just, it's funny, isn't it? Ha ha ha. Key. Look, everyone's looking at you now, stupid. So that's the version of me I would like to. It's hard to get rid of, I think, you know. And I think there's a lot of trauma that backs up behavior like that. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of being bullied at school definitely plays its fair part in this reaction, because I went to school where I kind of developed the mentality of, it's not even like I went to prison. Sometimes I talk about my secondary school like it was a prison school. It wasn't. Like it wasn't like fucking, what was it called? It wasn't like an army. It wasn't like army school, military school, or anything like that. No, it wasn't. It was your. It was your. It's now an academy technically, like, you know, one of the many academies down south. But yeah, it wasn't any different. It's just the fact that it was too close to London to be a healthy place to learn. Simple as that, really. Like, it got hood very quickly. And it was still like, in the grand scheme of things, there's schools in London that are like 20 times scary, and I definitely wouldn't have survived. But the school I went to, I think it was very easy because I was like happy-go-lucky Sam, which in many cases I still am. It was very easy for people to like poke at me and like exercise. If they've been picked on by someone else, I was an easy person for them to like retrieve their masculinity by picking on. So my reaction became very quickly any sign of someone trying to like make themselves look big or make themselves kind of seem worthy by taking the piss out of me, I will put you further down on the ladder. It's like, I am the gatekeeper, but it's the wrong way around. I'm kicking people out of the room. I'm not checking who should be coming in or not. And that's basically the mentality I had. So if someone was basically like, if someone run a joke about me, like if someone went, Sam, your hair looks stupid. I'm coming for all generations in your family when I run jokes. I'm starting with mom, dad. Where's your dad? I didn't see it. Where is he? Like that's as deep, and that's not even as far as I go. I'm cussing everything.
No, that's true.
Like, there was a point in my life where it's like, you better not let me know someone you better not let me know your dog's dead. Like if your dog's dead, it's over. Like
it's ammo. Yeah,
it's ammo. Like the whole day, I'm just gonna be woofing behind you. It's like, what was his name? Scruffy? What was it? Like every day, I'm doing that until you apologize. And
bro,
basically, I think I developed that mentality only as like a protective measure of like, if I go to the extreme, people wouldn't even do the tiniest things to me because in their head they're just like, I can't be asked.
It's just not even worth it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like, the stress that comes up the back of it isn't worth it. And I think it's played a part in. It's transformed itself into a point in my life where I've learned that if I'm success is the greatest revenge, right? Doing well in life is the greatest revenge. Whereas because I don't just aim to do okay in life, I escalate. Like I do my revenge. I've applied the same to this now mindset. So I will, like I always do, burn myself out to prove a point.
Yeah, you've played the scenario where they come to you for a job and you go, no. And
then, in my head.
Yeah,
now I've got to like run.
Yeah. I've done that with like 10 people in my head.
Exactly. There's been when they come to me and like, no, sometimes some people will like message me on LinkedIn. I'm just like, funny how this has worked out, hasn't it, friend?
Well.
Remember that day?
Chap.
Remember that day you tipped my drink over? Like here we are, jobless, are we? No, not that extreme. But like there have been moments where, you know, certain people like to meet my LinkedIn posts or certain people message me. I'm just there like, ignore. Because I can do that now and it means something or anything like that. And in many cases, I feel like it's probably protected me because I'm not going to lie. I've heard stories about some of the people I've not liked and they're still dicks. So I think my revenge arc still protects me from a lot of terrible people. But I do think in other cases as well, it's been a weakness of mine because one, it doesn't really shape a good character about someone if they bite back a lot quicker and a lot harder. It's not a sign of maturity. It's definitely not a sign of personal growth. And I'm at a point now I'm going through like the trough at work and getting all stressed. Now I'm trying to do my coursework. Now I'm doing like run the business and everything. And I'm just tired all the time. And I'm realizing maybe I just need to not make myself amazing to prove people wrong. I just need to make myself amazing to make my life enjoyable for me. And that's actually I'm getting to a point now where I'm just like, maybe the greatest revenge is just not giving a crap about that person and what they think.
You know what? Yeah, man.
That's where I'm at right now.
I kind of feel that. Like
I'm trying to be at.
I know there's an episode we will talk about is cutting people off and that sort of stuff. And there's two stories that I have. One of which I don't know if I told you this. My phone got stolen this year. Did I touch upon this? I didn't.
I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed. I'm not gonna lie, Lewis. When you first told me, I was embarrassed to be your friend. Because
what? That's not far.
I'm not gonna lie. Because in my head, when you hear phone get stolen, I was like, and then you killed him, right? Like, and then so you went to prison and you won the court case. Like that's what I expected to hear.
Because part of me was. So yeah, this is like during marathon training. I did I think it was like an 8-mile run, and then I stopped, and then this person on the bike who couldn't have been any older than 16. Like I was holding my phone like a dickhead, to be honest, in London. Like, and he just jacked it and then just biked down. And then I had 10 minutes of like, I'm going to murder this person. And then I was actually like, it's not even worth it. I could just get a new phone.
See,
and the thing is, it was like, no, because the thing is, it was like, it could have been a lot worse. Like they could have had a knife. Like it, like in terms of jackings that could have happened. Like bear in mind at this time, like it was trending, like people's ankles were getting slashed and shit, so they drop all their stuff, and that happens. And I was like, this isn't actually worth it for a phone. And I already had a work phone. Like it didn't actually affect my life too much. It was just inconvenient for about 3 hours. Like that was basically it. And the thing is, I know there was nothing that I could do. I could go to the exact same spot where I got my phone stolen every week and find him, but then I get in trouble for like, you know, pummeling the shit out of a 16-year-old. So it's like, is it worth it in the long term?
Yes.
And so part of me,
Yes,
so
it
part
is.
of me, so part of me has to believe, right, that karma will come around. And you know what? It's like part of me even tried
It
to develop.
often does.
Part of me wanted me to
Oh,
even develop sympathy for like,
yeah.
how are you out and about on a Friday at 10 doing this to people? Because you clearly need the phone way more than me if this is what you have to resort to.
True,
So
true.
part of me now is I try and extend my I try to sympathize for whoever's trying to screw me over, right?
Mm.
And it's something I've actually actively tried to do because I know like revenge can just like it will stick for a while.
It'll
And
make you sick
it
sometimes.
genuinely, it's like it's all things I'll
It makes you
occupy. And the thing is,
sick.
it's
Yeah.
me trying to think of be vengeful for 3 days is actually even worse than what actually happened because I've just put myself in a shit
But
mood.
like,
So that's something
okay,
which
then
I've
I
tried to.
apologize. What I said was mean. I think you're very mature and a good
No,
person.
no, you've done it now, Sam. The revenge is covered. It's all right. Don't worry about it. You wait till your wedding. I'm joking.
Oh my god! Imagine my wedding. Lewis just turned up the kid that robbed him. It's like him, steal from him.
I found him.
So
I found him.
Let him know how it feels.
But there was another
Yeah.
scenario as well, and you know what? I'm not going to mention his name. Because I don't even know him, but I was just not going to give him any attention. No, there was a friend of mine who essentially, long story short, ended up owing me money.
Ew.
Like a few £100. It was a decent amount. And it was very much like, yeah, I'll pay you next week, pay you next week, pay you next week. This went on for a very, very long time, to the point where I knew that he was taking advantage of my friendship as well. And because I was like, if I was a bank, this would be done and done. And it was like a recent mate who I made like probably a couple of years ago. We were mates for like a year, and then like I've now cut him off since then. But it was to the point where I was like, dude, I don't want to have to do this, but I will court claim you to get this money back if it comes to it. Like, I have every single conversation we have about the money. I actually researched into it. I was like, I could actually sue you for more. So you need to pay me back, or this is what's going to happen. He basically then like sent me this long thing. Like, bro, he got his card declined to go on the tube. And then I actually felt sorry for him. Like, he showed me his bank balance. Like, he got declined to get on the tube. And I was like...
Hear me out.
I was like, you don't know... No, before I go, just before we jump in.
Right, cool.
So, and the thing is, the issue was, like, during the meantime, whilst he was owing me money, he was like, oh, yeah, let's go out and do this. And I was like, oh, cool. Pay you back then since you're going out. Stuff like that. And he was paying for Soho House, which is like £200 a month. I was like, this is now taking the piss. So the context is important. Like, he was living large but owing me money, which is pissing me off. So
see what I mean? So you shouldn't be enjoying when you owe me something.
Exactly, because
you
like if I know I owe someone money, I'm living off tinned food because
exactly.
I'm in debt, right? So
my mum's watching this. Like,
when he actually showed me proof of like him being like broke, I was like, you know what? Forget about it. Like, if you pay me back, fine. If you don't, whatever. I'm not going to do anything. But just don't chat to me anymore. I was like, I just can't be arsed with it because me keep on nagging you to get this money back is giving me more grief. And I'd rather we just call it a day. Pay me back if you want to. If not, whatever. I don't care. This was last year, January, February time.
Still not spoken?
We haven't spoken since. He sent me a random £50. And that was it.
I'm gonna fuck off. No,
I was just like, and he was like, "Oh, I paid you back, bro." I just went,
"Yeah."
I didn't even talk to him. I was just like, "I can't be asked, bro." Like,
I would literally just be. He's gonna send £50 just to ask for 200 later. just to double down later.
Yeah.
No, I just. Here's the thing. I can't stand friends that act like you work for them. You work for their benefit. Like, I work hard for my money. I burn myself out a lot. I complain a lot on this pod because I have a job to complain about. And I work hard on that job and I feel underappreciated because I work harder than I think I should be. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to get to is I work hard. So if I'm in a position where I'm making money and I'm enjoying myself, that does not entitle you to my money, right? Work with me on something. Come up with an idea. Do something that we can do together. Then we can talk about how much of that pie you can slice off and enjoy. But don't just look at like, oh, Sam, that's a nice car. Can I have 200 quid? Or Sarah has a nice ring. How much was it? Oh, can you send me 80 quid? Like, you piss off. And then it'll be like,
Yeah.
well, you make all this money. It's like, yeah, I make all this money for me.
For me.
For me, I want to
It's
enjoy.
my
I
money.
give. Sometimes I give to charity. Sometimes I donate blood.
Who is
Like-
it who you mentioned, like celebrity, when they got a role?
Oh, I need to remember.
Was it Jeremy Renner that you said? Like his
It was
family
a
just
black
like
guy. I think it was. Yeah, it was a black guy. It's Jeremy Renner. Sounds like a white man's
didn't
name.
you say didn't you say it was Hawkeye, or am I thinking of someone else?
Is that Jeremy Renner?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Basically, some actor basically got a
Yeah.
paid role in Hollywood and Marvel or something, and then like, do you say like loads of his relatives like
Oh yeah.
quit
So
their jobs?
basically, yeah, people quit their. So the story goes, and I really need to remember it because we're basically saying something that probably happens to a lot of celebs, but it was funnier when he told it. And basically, he's saying that like, yeah, he got this part, this big role, and it's literally like he was getting messages and phone calls to say like, we made it, and like he started finding out that family members had quit their jobs as soon as he got the role, and he found out how much he was making. So then he was just there like, no, I made it. Not we made it. I made it. Go get your job back. And I kid you not, like the first time I got that car, I think the first time me and Sarah bought our house, and it's not even like a big house. It's not a grand expense, but like some of my family still rent, and some people I know still rent in general. And it was almost like a sign of, oh my God, he's made it. Oh, our cousins made it. Our mates made it. It's like, oh, you've got a spare room. Can I come stay in that room now? And I'm just like, no. Like, this is my peace and quiet. This is my slice of the earth that I get to enjoy. This is my little bit I've worked towards. And everyone seems to think, all right, if someone close to you's made it, let me take a break because we made it. And I was like, no, because I need generational wealth in my life. Okay, I need to create generational wealth, and I'm not wasting it all on this generation with you. No offense. So it's kind of like, yeah, that was the story he told, and that's what I learned. And we've got to come back on the arc of revenge, and I think that has there's times when you feel wronged by some people, right? And they come to you for help. And it's almost like, how dare you? Like after all you've done, after all the jokes you run, after all the little moments where you snakes meet other people, how dare you come to me? And it's almost like they've forgotten everything they've done. They've forgotten all the like these little moments.
Yeah. You know what? It's a weird one with that, because part of me is very much now more so, not so much more when I was like young.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if there's someone who's genuinely asked me for help and I know they have done me wrong,
mm-hmm.
I would like to think now, depending on what it was, I would lend help to that person. I would do my best to, like, despite my best intentions, just because I would like to be seen as that kind of person who can forgive. I think forgiveness is very difficult. But I heard this phrase the other day. It's like, forgiveness is a gift you give yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So part of me would very much like to, obviously, a little funny petty revenge is different, but if it's like someone's actually struggling, they actually want your help for whatever reason it is, I will try and put that aside to try and do what is right at that moment.
Yeah.
But if I get screwed over again, it's charged. Like that's where it's like, I've tried to become a better person. Yeah. You're now telling me I'm wrong to do that. And that's when I'm like, nah, that's when I get really stubborn. I'm just like, nope, you're being a dick. Yeah. That's when I get unreasonable.
You start wishing for their demise at that point. It's like, the world doesn't need
that's
you.
That's when I'm like, I've gone against my gut. I knew I was right. And that's where I would be like, nah, now I'm on smoke. Because I went against my gut. And now I'm mad at myself for going against my inclinations to begin with.
Do you know what the mad thing is? Sometimes there is no greater fuel or motivation than revenge. Just to right a wrong. There's literally there has been drivers in my life that has pushed me to do them, that has pushed me to achieve the maddest goals just to prove people wrong. Like you know what? Arguably 90% of any successes I have today are driven by my need to prove someone wrong and make them feel stupid.
Yep, I think that's very true. I mean, like the need to kind of like satiate any sort of like revenge or like justice or whatever. It's energy, right? And like it can help. It's helped me with going to the gym. It's helped me with Thai boxing before. When I quit my first job, that was revenge to kind of like screw them over, and I ended up getting
doing
like
this without me.
a 50%. Yeah, I got like a 50% pay rise as a result of being like, I'm going to get a way better job, and I know you're going to have to hire 3 people, and I'm going to quit in a dramatic fashion. And I did. It was in a HR meeting, and they said that never happened before. So I had the most unique quitting of all time.
Wait, you just had a notice in the HR meeting, like, yeah, I'm done.
So basically, it was because they put me on like this performance plan, which was bullshit.
Yeah,
and I knew it was bullshit. And basically, what happened was the manager ended up. To be fair, this revenge had a bit of radius. Like there were innocents involved.
There was splash damage.
Yeah, there was damage. Yeah. Because to be fair, like he didn't deserve to actually have to deal with this because the manager who caused me the pain was actually on maternity leave. At the time. So basically, when we're in this meeting, he basically has sent a grand email to like the VPs of sales, whatever, being like, Lewis is the best like employee in our team. Like I'm really looking forward to his growth. All sort of stuff. I didn't actually know this happened, but he told me he sent this right before this meeting. With HR about my performance, like he basically like sung my name, was like, this is
messed up.
Best
he knew
edition.
Messed up.
And I was like, okay. And he actually mentioned this in the meeting, and I was like, okay. So once all said and done, bear in mind this was like what 3-4 months of my life, which was hell. Because they obviously thought like, oh, he wants to say, let's grow the company. And I basically went like, oh, at the end of the meeting, they were like, oh, great. You know, we can talk about promotions, all this sort of stuff. And, you know, what like
they knew they messed up.
And I was like, oh, well, that's great. But I'm going in a different direction. I'm quitting. And they basically looked at each other being like, can we have the room, please? Because this has never happened before. And yeah, they were not happy with me.
They tried to traumatize you into thinking you were lucky to have the opportunity to stay.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, that's great and all, but I don't care.
Legit.
And then the manager was like, I just sent this grand email off, and I was like, that's not my problem.
No,
like, I was like, I don't give a fuck.
We have lived such similar lives.
And to be fair, he didn't deserve to have to deal with that situation, because like it was a glass meeting room, and when I got told to leave the room, I saw back and his hands were in his head like this, and I was like, I was on smoke at that point. Like I was traumatized too much. But like I said, useful energy for me personally, because I was like, I have to prove to you guys that you've made a mistake and you don't know who you're dealing with. Because work me is like, oh yeah, happy-go-lucky, happy to do anything. But deep down, they were killing me, and they didn't know how petty I was. And like, they know that once I've got my eyes set on something, I'm doing it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It is going to happen.
That.
It's a matter of when.
Yeah,
and that's very useful energy. And I think this kind of stems from me, like you said, it was like with school bullying and stuff like that. For me, I love to prove people wrong, particularly when they say I can't do something. Like I will do it just to make a point. And I think there's been a lot of times where I've been underestimated because I'm been nice and not outwardly been a dick. Because when you're nice, people think they could screw you over. Like they think, oh yeah,
people
he's
test
just
their
a
limits.
happy-go-lucky black dude. Like, he's not going to do anything. He wouldn't hurt a fly.
Exactly.
If you hurt me, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for the bloodline. Your timeline will finish. So
you'll feel it. You'll feel the pain.
But it's like I said, it's useful energy, but I think you need to harness it in a careful way that isn't fully destructive, but I think you could channel it into what you want to do and things like that. Like, say, for example, with the short film stuff, right?
Yeah.
If they were to come back, they won't do this because they're lovely people. Or if anybody editors I work with, if they would come back and be like,
they're watching this like crap.
If they were to come back being like, Lewis, this is the worst piece of shit I've ever done. You shouldn't be an editor. Like, this is complete garbage. Like, stick to your day job. Sam, do you know how much work I'd put in? I would make sure that they would see me on Golden Globes winning Oscars and shit, and then being like, oh my God. I would go and smoke.
This is a point I wanted to make. So sometimes, you know how sometimes that form of like, I want to call it revenge, but it's just blind stupidity sometimes. You know what? Why? It's not stupidity in terms of you're just like a dunce or something, but it's more stupidity in terms of like you don't think past your actions. You're just doing to prove something wrong. Your whole focus is prove that I'm worthy to show you that you're wrong about me being unworthy.
Yeah.
And it ultimately plays into their hands, especially when it's like a manager or someone who's doing this to you. It plays into their hands in a lot of cases because if I do something to prove my manager wrong for saying I'm crap at doing my job, at the end of the day, they're the ones that get to portray the story
It's
to
true.
higher ups about it. And it's happened to me so many times where I've gone, I'll prove you wrong, I'll do this. And they've gone and just taken credit by saying, oh, he was doing a terrible job, but clearly I've molded him into doing a great job. Where I've cocked up, they've just gone, oh, he's shit. Get rid of him. As soon as I do great, it's like, well, my influence has done a wonderful impact on him. Blah, blah. And it's that kind of like, there's a point where you kind of just realize it's like, am I getting revenge or am I just doing what they want just a long way round?
I think there are ways you can circumvent that. I hear what you're saying, to be fair, because there are times where I've made sure that my manager's not getting credit for my work, and I want them to know that.
The new me is like going straight to boss man and being like, oh,
Yeah,
that's what I've done.
I did this a few weeks
I'm
ago.
going straight to
I was
him,
like, there's no way I'm letting this all this work go on whilst you've been like, chilling on Twitter and thumbs and stuff like that. But like I said, I think what is good about this is like because we're self-aware about how we approach this, and inevitably the need for revenge is all ego play at the end of the day. It's your pride, right? And ego, everybody's got one, right? As I always say, like no one's gonna be like, oh no, blah, blah, blah. It's bullshit. And I try and keep it under control as much as I can. And because I think you have to start with self-awareness about it. And I think how you maintain and harness the energy, if you will, it's like it's not like immediate reaction.
Yeah.
Like you need to respond, not react. This is what all the Stoicism books have basically taught me.
That's exactly it.
Right. Then you pick your times and your moment or whatever to do what you need to do. One of the things actually, which I think we need to talk about once we've both read it, listened to it, whatever, is 48 Laws of Power.
Oh, okay.
Because this is banned in prisons.
Really?
Yeah. It's banned from bookshelves in prison because of how people can manipulate as a result of applying these principles. I don't sure if I should be telling you this because you're like, I need this book.
I don't need this in my life.
But this
is
book
it one of the books on Spotify?
It can be on Spotify, yes, as like an audiobook. But it's one of those books where like it could be used for evil, or you could be aware of these laws or whatever, all these principles, so that people can't use them against you. And like the first law is like your job is to make your boss look good, or like don't overpower the master or whatever. It's like one of its first rules and stuff like that in order to get ahead. But it's very interesting it's just like human behavior. And the reason why this is relevant is just because like this is very much like revenge very much falls into this category of and like it falls into like a mix of that, a bit of stoicism as well, in terms of like one of these rules, Sam, literally says crush your enemy entirely.
we don't leave crumbs. We don't leave crumbs out here.
Yeah, like destroy them.
We clear the table.
They are. Yeah, and it just reminded me. It reminded me a lot of that rule. Some people hate this book. It's a very controversial book. I think it's
probably because it makes them feel like they've been a victim of some of the laws at some point in their life.
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
what
a lot of people
pisses
think
me off
like
when I read books
people
like that.
think like, oh, this is bullshit. This isn't true. People think it might be too evil. I think Rosie isn't a particular fan of this book. Yeah,
I'm gonna read this book. I'm definitely gonna read and listen to it.
It's a big aspect. I think you have to listen.
There's a lot of
pages.
pages.
Like, I have the book, and it's like I haven't even read the book yet. It's it's just very interesting. And it's like it's quite thought provoking. But
the evil villain. That's very evil. Yeah, Mein Kampf is an interesting book too, isn't it, Lewis? Crazy
That is
ass.
mad.
Crazy ass. You had evil villain. When you said that, you had evil villain written all over you in that few seconds.
No.
You're crazy. It's just an interesting book. I'm just a collector. God, guys. I'm just a collector of, I don't know, old things.
I just like to.
I like war memorabilia.
There's actually. I think this is a great episode of there actually, because it's like, when you know someone is obviously a terrible person, but they're very good at this particular skill. Like it's like a weird term, it's like social engineering, or like and like basically like how to get what you want from like different people, and like how to like sell, and like, but it's like, what can you learn from these fucking crazy people and stuff like that? Like objectively, like not saying like, oh, these people are great, but they're good at this particular.
Let the history books say, I warned you about this guy, this Lewis guy. I warned you. I want when he becomes like dictator of some island somewhere. I just want to say, I knew it. I knew it. I was a
But
victim.
like you could even use like Elon Musk as an example. Like people think he's fucking crazy.
I'm not gonna
right?
lie. That guy has evil. I love you, Elon. When you take over the world, I love you. But that guy has evil villain written all over.
Yeah,
him.
but
I can't. It's almost like he plays into the archetype of like your Lex Luthor types. If he shaves his head, it's over.
Bro, yes.
If he shaves his head, I'm moving back to Ghana and hiding in the bunker. I'm not coming out until he's gone.
Yeah, he's actually getting. Yeah, we should do like a bit of a CEO deep dive.
We should do top 10.
because-
We should do the good, bad, and maybe not the ugly. That'd just be cussing people. We should just do the good and the bad episode, where we just talk about good and bad, like CEOs based on public perception. Oh, that's actually a sick idea. Don't I just get to bitch about people? I love those episodes.
Well, that's been the past 21 episodes.
I know. I love it.
Oh yeah, we're on episode 21 now. We've got 15 to go. We've got 15 to go before we're in the top percentile of podcasts.
Fucking this guy.
I can't remember what the percentile number is, but it's like 36. You're in like the top 20 or whatever. So
right. I had one of my usual mind games that makes me feel good about myself. I want to ask you: do you recall ever being not the victim, but the target of someone else's revenge? And if so, what was it? If you don't recall, it's fine. But do you recall being the target of someone else's revenge?
No, to be honest. No.
See, here's my. So I don't recall being the target of someone's revenge. I recall people being dicks to me. I don't recall someone doing it as a revenge thing, right? So, if you don't recall being the target of someone else's revenge, do you think other people see your approach of revenge as revenge? And with that in mind, do you think they've made a connection between your reaction to their behavior? They've made a connection between your reaction and the behavior they did to cause that reaction. And with that in mind, do you think they ever learned anything? If you can't remember someone, because someone at some point has been pissed off by you. Let's be honest. Same with me, right?
Yeah.
So at some point, someone has been in the same mental space to want to get revenge on us. Do you think?
The thing is, here's the thing, right? Like, I don't know if it's because if it's like a revenge war or whatever, or like people trying to keep on getting back, I know I'll win. So part of me is thinking, do people just not decide to do it because they just don't think it's worth the time?
Yeah, do you think you're too good, or do you think you're just oblivious to the fact that people actually exist?
Yeah, it's probably a combination of both. To be honest, like I'm not saying like I'm fucking omnipotent. Someone's probably slipped by, like, but I can't remember someone being like, and that's revenge for da-da-da, and I've been like, oh fuck. Yeah, that hasn't really recalled. Unless someone is just as, calculated as I would be, and they've got revenge on me and I didn't even know it. Like, I'm sure that's probably happened. But
I think there's been moments where someone's probably I've gone like, why'd you do that? And they'll be like, oh, remember you said that to me. And like from that justification, it's revenge, but it hasn't felt like revenge. Because my perception is like, that's just embarrassing. Like, what the fuck? Or my perception would be like, okay, now you've wronged me. It wouldn't be like, you've wronged me because I did this. It'd just be, you've now wronged me, so now we exact revenge. Their actions towards me was purely an attack on me. and now I exact revenge. So I see. I think it. I don't think it's just me. I think a lot of us see revenge as what we've done to someone else rather than what someone has done to us. Like when someone does something to us, I think it's easy to feel like the victim of something, or to feel like, okay, yeah, they were pissed off at me and that's where they said it. But you don't feel like it's almost like we don't see it as an active teachable moment. If we learned from it, it was a passive teachable moment, as in, oh, I just happened to learn from that. I just happened to learn not to do that because you get angry and you shout at me. Not you shouted at me to fucking scare the shit out of me. It's I just learned to do that not to piss you off. And
Yeah.
I think that's the type of person I am, where because I don't like to feel smaller than someone else. I don't like feeling emasculated or humiliated. Those are definitely my key things that I do. They're my lines. You
Yeah.
cross those lines, you're dead to me.
Yeah.
If you humiliate me or if you emasculate me, I don't, not even like emasculate me as in like, oh, beat me up in public or something, but like go out of your way for some reason just to make yourself fit in by making me seem like a littler person compared to you. Just going out of your way, not even banter, just to make yourself feel comfortable in a social situation. You cross that line. For me,
Yeah.
that's a line you can't jump back over. As soon as you cross that line, I promise you, every day is just boring for you. Every day is a day you don't want Sam around you. And like, and I think with that in mind, it's because I feel attacked in a weird way. But I do wonder, doing it to someone else, did they feel attacked or did they recognize I'm doing it back to you because you did this to me? Until I say it,
Yeah.
would they recognize them exactly? And even when I say it, do they even recognize it as revenge?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't really know, to be honest. But I think for me now, as opposed to like, it's like what you touched upon earlier, like the best revenge is just like, you just don't give a shit. And it's like, particularly if it's someone who you trust and value, care about, all that sort of stuff, and they go out your way and portray your trust in that sort of way, I'm very much like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
You've made this very easy for me.
You have to know that if I... Go on.
And it's like, oh, why have you not replied to my text? And I was just like, I just can't be asked. And then it's just long. So that's kind of what I do now. Is just kind of like you've just, it's just kind of like you're a bit dead to me. And it's just like I've now just lost all feeling. Like it's just like not even like a grudge. It's just cut off. I've the last few years in particular, I've been very selective about who I allocate my time and energy to. And so if someone shows a clear display of character as opposed to why I shouldn't show you that energy, it's not even revenge. It's just like I'm just reserving my energy for other people because, we have finite energy. I don't have enough to
You're seeing it's almost like it's almost like a mosquito like nibbing you and flying off. Like you don't look at it like, oh, I'll get you.
Yeah,
like, it's gone. Like it's just insignificant. It's just annoying.
But
I hear what you're saying. I think from my perspective, I think there's definitely an ego at play of like I don't really recognize when someone's trying to. I don't recognize someone's feeling like I got sweet revenge as revenge because I'm kind of like, well, that's pathetic. Like you're embarrassing.
What?
You got me. My feelings. But like, if they did get me, I wouldn't see it as revenge. I'd just see it as okay, it's my turn now.
What I particularly like is when, say it's like we're in a group setting and like you got revenge on someone, but like what I quite like doing as well, which pisses people off, but like in a funny way, because I think my mates would agree with this, is like I'd get revenge on someone like publicly, like say like I beat them at a game or whatever, right? After they were chatting loads of shit. This actually happened quite recently, and then I just stay silent and I stay humble. It pisses them off because they know in my head, they know what I want to say, but they know I'm not choosing to say it.
It's like that's we haven't. I think that's a type of revenge that you can only enact with people that know you or are close to you.
I do this. I do this a lot with my close mates.
It's almost I wouldn't even say that's revenge. That's pettiness.
Yeah,
that's pettiness because that's a return journey from that, right? Pettiness is almost like you can have an argument or you can bicker. Pettiness is like the bicker version of revenge. Like it's like just a little nib back at you, and I think that's the difference. I think for people that are close to me, it's almost like a 3 strike rule. And like the third one, I'm going in. So like the first one, if you're close enough to me, the first one I'll be like, yo, what the fuck? Like, don't do that. Second one, I'll do it back to you. Whatever it is you've done, no matter how big or small, I'll do it back to you. And then I'll literally like when you start kicking off with me, I'll be like, well, that's what you did. Like you did it to me and it seemed fine. Third time, we escalate. Third time we go crazy.
What is the best revenge story you know? Because I've heard of one. I heard of one on social media, which is it's nice and short and simple.
Yeah.
A school bully victim. He
I know
slept
this one.
with the bully's mum.
Yeah.
That is, and always will be. I don't think there's anything better than that.
I
like
know
just from a
few.
pure like sentence revenge story.
Yeah.
That is the funniest thing ever. Like, there's no way to get a bully back better than that.
Just be like, yeah, I shagged your mum. So
he could beat the shit out of you afterwards. You could be a corpse on the floor. You could be like, yeah, but still.
I had a friend.
Like, you can't undo that.
But no, the best revenge story. There are so many. Oh my god, there are so many, Lewis. There are actually so many. Let me. Oh my god! Oh my god! The tour revenge story. I'm not going to name the guy's name, but he would know who he is, and the victim, unfortunately, would know who he is as well. God, I can't even say the guy's name. I can't even say the name that was given to him without like everyone we know.
Can I? I can beep it out.
Okay, cool. The story.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! It was the most traumatic story I have ever heard in my life. So I will tell the story.
All right, tell it.
Hi guys, this is Lewis in the middle of editing, and I'm not gonna lie, this story is actually pretty gross. So again, if you want this episode to blow up, I'll release the uncut version. But yeah, this was mad, and I'm gonna leave in my reaction again because I completely forgot this story. Enjoy.
That's mad.
That is literally it.
Because to get revenge at the detriment of one's own self is mad.
At this point, I wonder if it's prison worthy. I wonder if it's like
it reminds me
a criminal
of
offense.
Have you heard of the frog joke?
No, go on.
Okay. Google the frog joke after this.
I will do.
Because
is it that bad? I have to do it after the
it's jokes. We're already tiptoeing the line of what the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah, true.
So Google the frog joke. This is this has been a very
there's frog jokes for kids.
No. It's not for kids.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, we're tiptoeing the line. This has been a bit of an R-rated episode.
Yeah, it has been.
Guys,
but yeah. No, before we sign off.
Yeah, we need to land because
we need to land
guys.
as well.
God, Jesus! You just triggered a lot of memories.
I had a whole thing.
Basically,
like,
I think revenge. There's limits. I think is what we've kind of said.
There definitely is limits.
There's range.
I think the lessons I want to bring across here is that at some point, someone, there's some point there's a winner or a loser. Right. At some point there is. I'll say that in the world, in workplace, in business, it's like, no, you don't want to be the loser in a revenge trade-off. You don't want to be the loser and you keep biting back at someone and they might back at you and you just keep going at each other. And like I was saying to Lewis earlier, sometimes it's hard to recognize someone's responding to your revenge attempt with revenge against you because you just see it as another attack you need to respond to. And as we've said, we escalate things, and most people do escalate things because you want to win. You're not out here trying to catch draws. You're not out here trying to catch fair games. You're trying to win. And in doing that, you keep escalating. At some point, someone has to lose. And the risk of losing at the highest point of the escalation, it's not worth it to keep going. I think in some cases, you just have to pack it in. And you have to pack it with the logic, not that you've lost, but that you've just taken the higher road.
Yeah. I think when it comes to personal matters, I think that's where I can be more vengeful. I think I'm definitely a lot better than I was when I was.
I've seen your villain arcs, and I think, you know what? The villain arcs I've witnessed you go through, they deserved it.
Yeah.
They deserved it. I'm not gonna stuff I've seen happen. They deserved it.
Yeah. And like, you know what? Like you said, like I've seen karma. I think karma is a beautiful thing because I've seen it happen to a lot of people who we both know, and you actually informed me of some of it. So I'm like, you know what? This is good because I went like this, and they went like this. And you know what? I don't need to do anything because they have to live with themselves every day.
Exactly.
And that is all I needed. But you know what? The universe is all about balance, Sam. You know what I mean? It will balance itself out. What you do, it will come back to you in some way or form. And if it doesn't,
100%.
I will be there to make sure it does.
It's like I am the Punisher.
But yeah, man, I think
yeah,
when it comes to work, obviously because you don't want to get fired, you don't want to deal with
no, you don't.
all the bullshit. So you have to play it smart.
100%.
And you have to picking your battles is genuinely the work. Like, because I have to deal with so much shit and I can't retaliate to every single thing, but you have to pick your battles and you will lose a lot of them. And it's one thing which I've definitely had to deal with, like with all the setbacks and with all the bullshit that gets thrown at both our ways in our respective jobs. It's like you know when to pick your battles, like you learn through that, because if you're just like, oh, this pissed me off, I shouldn't be dealing with this shit, right? It's definitely an ego thing. And when you realize it's that, then you're able to kind of like navigate your situations. But yeah, man, it's an interesting topic. I've enjoyed this topic as well.
I actually have as well.
It's been very funny.
I love Kiki Keys. I love Kiki Keys in this one.
I erased that entire timeline from my memory.
There's so many other stories. I'm gonna be reliving.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you a lot of questions after this because I need the uncensored version because I know you dialed it down.
Oh,
that was diluted squash. It was.
Oh god, it escalated after that.
So we're gonna end this episode now. So
yeah, we will.
Guys, it's been a weird episode. It's been a mess. This has been a mess.
It's a good reset. You know what? I needed this. It was a hard reset on what was aiming to be a crappy week.
But if you guys like this episode, give it 5 stars.
Yeah.
Give it a like. Share
If
your
you don't
friends.
like it, mind your own business.
I don't know if you guys have learned anything from this episode, but you know what? I hope you laughed. I hope you found something funny. It's like been a bit of self-help, but with some humor added in.
We needed some jokes.
So you know what? It's a different one. You know what? It's our pod. If you don't like it, get Steph in.
No.
Sorry.
Don't listen.
It's wrong energy.
Money.
Wrong energy. But
stupid idiot.
We're just doing what we want, man. So this was Sam's topic. This is the first time Sam chose the topic. I'm just saying. So if the standard's lower quality, it's Sam's fault.
Respectfully, we don't give a fuck.
Respectfully. Instagram, The Podcast Evolved, Twitter, The Podcast Evolved, www.thepodcastevolved.com, Anxious Extrovert on all your socials, anxiousextrovert.co.uk, Zana Studios, xnder.com.
Oh, you need a performance review again.
Yeah.
You need a performance. You need another one. Whatever they did to you that time, maybe they were right.
You know what? It's the punches to the face, man. I think they've actually really settled him. I've got so sore in the past 2 hours, but it's genuinely been true.
One thing that will make you feel better, ice baths after every training session.
All right.
15 minutes in cold water.
Catch you guys.
Right.
See you later.
We out.
Bye.
Peace. Love you. Bye.